Ah? Hello everybody, and welcome back to Echo. What happened last time? We had a bit of a shorter stream last time. I was a tired boy, so we didn't read as long last time, so not as much happened. But what did happen? That was when we left Duke's house, right? That's what happened. We rescued the boy. Oh, whoops, I did not mean to press that. There we go. We had the motel scene. That's what it was. We did the motel. Chunter got punched by a car. That's how I'm gonna word that. Duke stole Chunter's car. Chunter was very sad about the whole thing. Oh, hello, Cot. Hello. Hello, Juju Bear. And hello, Solianus. Yeah, I saw you in chat yesterday. Yeah, hello. Welcome back. But yeah, and then we did the Carl adventure. We went to Carl's house. Now we have Car. We getting out of Echo. Right? That's what's gonna happen. That's the recap. There we go. Yeah, we now have Car. We're getting out of Echo. That's what happened last time. That's what happened, Juju. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. We pull quietly out of the driveway in Carl's car, which makes almost no sound since it's a hybrid. Leo's driving, of course. Carl's still woozy, and Leo actually had to help him walk around to find the keys. I sit in the back between Carl and TJ, while Kudzu sits in the passenger seat next to Leo. I've overheard Leo mumble to Kudzu to sit next to him, while I help Carl into the car. Something about them needing to be able to get out of the car quickly with their guns if anything went down. Leo doesn't floor it like I expect him to, but but we move down the bench of the bench? Move down the bench of the mountain. Okay. And through the town speedily enough. I see TJ look out his own window intently, and I can only imagine it's to see if he can spot Jenna, maybe even Flynn. Ah, we remember Flinny boy. You are... Yeah, that's because I am Bird. I am a bird. I'm just in a Chunter costume. You know, for the Halloween season. Oh, hello, Shanzu. Dude, I don't feel so good. Carl mumbles next to me, both hands on his stomach, twisting at the fabric of his hoodie. Just puke on the floor if you have to. I don't think Leo's gonna stop. Carl leans over and puts his head between his knees, groaning. That gets TJ's attention, and he starts rubbing the ram's back slowly. A good thing it feels like there's nothing in me. So, what the hell's going on? Where's Jenna? Do you care? TJ frowns. We don't know. What happened then? I take a deep breath, trying to figure out how to explain. Well, we're not sure what's going on anywhere. Everywhere, that's what that says. But on Saturday, while I was at the diner with Leo, I go through my story as quickly as I can, explaining to Carl what's been going on. The rest of the car is quiet, so I get anxious when I get to the part about Brian and skip over it as much as I can. I only mention that he held me there for a day. But that, by the time I finish, we've already passing the lake. Oh, so is it Sunday already? Sunday morning? Yeah, I guess so. So I was out a whole fucking day? I don't say anything in response. What happened to you, Tej? Are you okay? Carl turns his gaze on TJ, who just nods. Yeah, I was seeing things too. People chasing me. I'm okay now, though. TJ actually does seem more stable now, after everything that's happened. Maybe taking care of Carl is taking his mind off of whatever happened to him. Either way, he doesn't expand on what he saw. Carl shivers and puts his head back down, while TJ continues to rub his back. A few minutes of silence goes by before Carl speaks up again. That feels kinda nice. Reminds me of my mom. Yeah, actually my mom did it too. I thought it might help. Yeah, I love you. Just so you know, all of you guys. I'm glad I'm not in that place anymore. I love you too, Carl. And everyone else. You too, Raccoon Man. Thanks. Yeah. I affirm my love for everyone. Kudzu glances back at us before turning his attention out his back window, his own window. Leo doesn't say anything from the front, his focus solely on the road ahead of him. I watch the desert whip by us for the first time, feeling somewhat safe, as the town disappears behind us. But of course, it doesn't last long. What's that? On the side of the road there? Leo turns his head in the direction that Kudzu points. We all do. What we see changes everything for me from that point on. Sure, things were crazy, and I had a hard time believing everything was happening, but it was explainable. Here, let me turn that down a bit. People like Duke, Brian, TJ, even Carl were all seeing things. But it was kind of a distant thing in a way. Something everyone was experiencing. Something I was exempt from. But now there it is. Something I can't explain right in front of me. What is that? Oh my gosh. TJ covers his mouth. Carl sits up straight, trying to see. Leo slows down as we pass. There's my car, all the windows shattered. And there's Duke lying a dozen feet away from the open door of the driver's side. And there, crouching over him, is something I can't explain. Hairless, body and limbs long. Way too long. The head comes up, and all I can see are the 3 holes in blood. TJ screams next to me, and Leo shouts something before stepping on the gas, slamming me back into my seat. I try to look back, but whatever it is gone. At least, it's gone from where it was, because I see something move next to my window, and I turn to face it. And it stares back at me. But only for a moment. That thing, whatever it is, disappears almost the instant I register that it's there. I'm only staring out into the blackness of the desert. Still, 3 holes, 2 eyes and a mouth, blink back at me in a sort of after-image before that too vanishes. What was that? What was that? TJ grabs my arm, claws digging painfully into my skin. I'm too shocked to even pull away as TJ leans forward next to me, staring out my window. At least, I know I'm not the only one that saw it. TJ squeaks again when no one answers him. What was it? I don't know. Some kind of animal, maybe. I've never seen anything like that before. Could have had a disease, lost all of its fur, or something. Maybe Duke hit it. But it was walking! TJ's arm is looping around mine, and I can feel his body shaking. I look over my shoulder, through the back window. At this point, my car is a good distance away, only visible because of the headlights are on, a streak of light fading out across the desert. Duke, is he... Carl! He's out here puking. Some dry retching noises, followed by heavy splatter sounds, cut me off. Carl is hunched over in the seat, a head between his legs. It isn't hard to figure out what just happened, especially with when the smell hits me. Oh my gosh, Carl! TJ looks torn between blanching away and comforting the ram. Why not both? Carl comes back, looking like he is about to say something, before diving forward again. A much louder retch, followed by a much quieter ploppin' sound follows. I grimace, feeling my own stomach roil. God. Kudzu's looking back at us, a paw up to his nose. You okay? Carl keeps his head down a while longer, his fingers twisting into the fabric of his shorts. TJ tentatively rubs his back. I would have done it out the window. I don't want to open any of the windows right now, though. It's okay. Leo, are there any napkins up there? There are some used tissues. Leo, who's been silent up until now, remains silent. He's staring out the window shield hard, a pause on the wheel and a death grip. After a moment of silence, Kudzu checks the cup holder, then drops open the glove compartment. After rummaging around for a minute, he pulls out a stack of fast food-style napkins. He hands them back to Carl, who starts mopping up whatever mess he made on himself. During all this, I'm still glancing out the window. Not head-on, though. Maybe I'm terrified I'm going to look straight into those eyes again. We drive in silence for the next 5 minutes, with no creature in sight, thankfully. But I don't know what to think right now. There's no way what I saw was some animal like Kudzu implied. The way it moved, the way it was crouched, and most of all, its face. I've never seen anything like it. At least anything that's not a Halloween costume. Maybe one of the locals dressed up in a costume or something. But then how the fuck did it keep up with the car? Were we going that fast? Leo did slow down a little. I keep those thoughts to myself. Everyone looks freaked out enough without any more speculation. So instead, I lean back into my seat, deciding to just close my eyes. We're on our way out, and soon I'll be safe in a police station or a hospital or something. It'll be explained when the cops get here. I try not to think about Duke on the ground, Janice in the diner, Jenna out there, somewhere. With that thing. I shake my head, eyes still closed. Are you okay, Chase? TJ's arm is still around mine. The places where our fur is pressed together, getting hot and sweaty. I don't mind, though, as long as it brings him some comfort. Yeah, I'm just tired. Actually, now that I mention it, I am pretty tired. I didn't exactly get much sleep in Kudzu's trailer, or Brian's. You got, 2 hours of sleep in Kudzu's trailer, and I think you got, 4 hours of sleep in Brian's trailer, right? Does being knocked out count as sleeping? I start to drift off as my head bumps gently against the headrest. The soft whirl of the AC on my forehead. What the fuck? The car lurches as Leo slows us down again. Reluctantly, I open my eyes, half expecting to see some kind of nightmarish ghoul out the window. But I don't see anything, just the road stretching ahead of us. What's wrong? Leo's quiet for a moment. I can't see his face since I'm right behind him, but I can see the outline of his twitching ears. I don't. Leo turns in his seat, looking out the passenger window, then his own. I'm heading the right way, right? I look out the window as well, not seeing anything except sagebrush and cacti. But then I do notice something. The mountains, which had been on my right, are now on my left, rising up ominously in the distance. Had we turned around somehow? Unless we're on the highway, which we definitely aren't. This road merges right onto the highway. There's no way we could have missed it. I hear TJ gasp softly next to me. I look over at him, but he's staring straight ahead out the windshield. I do the same, and in the distance, I see the headlights off to the side of the road. No way. What is it? Leo brings the car to a hard stop, throwing me forward into the seatbelt. Then he does a quick 3-point turn, shoving me right, then left when I'm smacked back into the seat as Leo accelerates again. Whoa, careful! My parents will kill me if you fuck up their ride. Carl laughs nervously, but no one pays attention to him. There's no fucking way. I was going straight. There's that side road that takes you to some of the trails. Maybe we sort of went off on. Leo snaps at the link suddenly. There's no way, TJ. That road is fucking gravel. I would have noticed. Leo is hunched in his seat like an angry dad. Oh, angry Leo. Staring out the windshield, his ears practically dancing on his head. I can feel TJ trembling, and so I lean into him a bit, letting him know that I'm here. It's clear that Leo doesn't want any talking, so we're all quiet. This time I keep my eyes open, staring out the window in case Leo did get sidetracked somehow. I focus on the mountains, making sure that they don't disappear. They slope up and down gently under the moonlight, speckled with the dark spots of rock and vegetation. Vaguely, I remember when... I'd been obsessed with skateboarding and had always imagined myself skating those slopes on car trips to Peyton. Oh god, can you imagine Chunter skateboarding, doing a kickflip? Yeah, radical. Up and down, up and down. If only Echo had anything like that. The only slopes we had was the one down from Carl's mansion, and it was way too big. I tried to skateboard down it once, but that had ended in disaster when I blinked staring out the window as the mountains just disappeared, sloped down into nothing. I squint, then I look out Carl's window. Sure enough, mountains. Leo. I know. Leo speeds up instead and turns around, though. I'm fucking impossible. What are you doing? TJ's claws are against my own skin again, and he gets that scared cat look in his eyes. Leo mumbles, mostly to himself. There's no way we're going back to Echo. Leo, slow down a little. Leo lets out a small growl but relents, and TJ's grip on my arm loosens some. I'm gonna keep going until I see that car because I sure as hell didn't turn around that time. The tone in Leo's voice keeps any of us from arguing. Though I hate to admit it, something about his demeanor has me just as scared as him, as I am of whatever it is out there. Another minute of driving, more awkward silence, then Leo hisses through his teeth. Straight ahead of us, the headlights appear. What? I must be dreaming. It's like we're stuck in some kind of loop. Leo slows down more and more until we come to a gentle stop. We sit there in silence, staring out my car about 100 yards in front of us. Leo starts muttering darkly to himself, looking out the window, looking at the dashboard. I want to ask him if he's okay, but I know what the answer is. TJ makes soft whimpering sounds next to me, like he's not trying to cry, and I finally put my arm around him. It's okay, it's just dark, and we're going off-road somehow. I whisper whatever comes to my mind to explain what the fuck is happening. Carl has his head down in his paws, completely quiet. He could be asleep for all I know. I think about suggesting that maybe we should just wait it out until morning in the car. But as I open my eyes, I hear a scratching noise towards the back of the car. TJ's ears perk up, which lets me know that I'm the only one. Instinctively, I turn around in my seat. Bits of glass fly into my face, and the next thing I know, I'm cowering in the seat, head down as far as I can push it. Carl, very much awake now, screams at Leo. Go! Well, Leo's already on it, and I can feel the car jolt forward. Then I'm bouncing up and down in the seat as we go off-road, Leo not bothering with a 3-point turn this time, instead doing a full U-turn. We're back on the asphalt, speeding down the road when I feel it's safe enough to raise my head, back up and look out the back window. For a moment, I'm terrified that I'm going to find that thing crouched on the trunk staring in at us. But instead, all I see is a giant hole through the back window, the remaining glass jagged. Are you guys okay? Leo looks back and forth between us and the road ahead of him. I sit up fully. I think so. I yell at him over the sound of the car and the wind whistling around behind me. Carl is bent over in his seat too, brushing glass from his hat and hoodie. I look at TJ, who's crouched over in his own seat, covering his head. Bits of glass are scattered on his back and in his head fur. I pick some of the pieces out of his fur on his neck and lean over him. TJ, are you okay? TJ shudders and doesn't say anything as I pluck some of the shards from under his collar. What was that? Kudzy shouts back at us, staring through the window. I don't know. I don't want to think about what I actually think it was. Leo keeps up the high speed, hitting some of the potholes hard enough that I'm worried we're going to get a flat. Then we'd be in some real trouble. We drive on for another 5 minutes in silence. And then the headlights of my car appear in front of us again. This time no one says anything, and Leo doesn't bother turning around. I watch out my window as we fly past my old car. Duke is still there on the ground, no movement from where he was the last time we saw him. Since this is the area where the creatures seem to be prowling, I look back out the window. I want to be ready in case it tries to come through again. But nothing happens. As I see a small stretch of asphalt illuminated red from the tail lights, and all I hear is the wind whipping through my ears. Ah, hello, wildfire. I keep my hand on TJ's back, as he continues to remain hunched over. Carl sits quietly, staring out the window. On the bright side, the bashed-in back window has diminished the smell of sick. Sparse dots of light show up on the horizon, indicating where Echo is. That's when Leo speaks up. All right. What we're going to do is head back to my house. You guys can get some sleep while I figure out what to do next. Leo pauses, but no one says anything. Sound good? Yeah, not much left to do. Leo grunts and hunches forward in his seat again. There's a sinking feeling in my stomach at the thought of going back to Echo. There is the comfort of at least not being out in the wilderness, but I wonder if that's much worse than the town, even with that creature prowling around. I stare out the window, watching the mountains move slowly by under the moonlight as we turn onto Lake Emma Road. I wonder if taking one of the mountain roads out the town would be worth it, whether we'd have enough gas when it happens. A crouched figure sits on the peak of the hill, just about 50 feet from where we are. I squint at it, just barely able to make out what looks like like shoulders and a head hunched up under the light of the moon. Huh? I'm directly across from the thing when I open my mouth, but I'm barely able to make a sound when it moves. It dashes down the hill in the blink of an eye, covering the distance between it and our car in a matter of seconds. One moment, I'm staring at a tiny black figure, and the next, it's right up against the car, smashing into the side between Leo's door and mine. My head smacks into the glass as I see a flash of white. At the same time, I hear Kudzy shout at us to hold on. TJ screams. Carl yells. We go down! My feet are fucking freezing. I open my eyes and stare down at them. It's almost too dark to see, but I hear the sound of sloshing water and screaming. Chase! Chase! What? My head aches, and there's something in my eyes that stings. Everything's blurry. Chase, are you okay? A big paw prods at my chest, and I look up. I can barely make out the outline of ears. Leo? Wait. As it hits me like the car crash we were just in. That thing. I look out my window again, but it's all shattered and spiderwebbed. But I can see what looks like water pouring through. At the same time, I feel the icy cold sensation running down my back as the water comes through, the broken back window like a waterfall. We crashed into the fucking lake. Chase! I'm awake. I'm good. I grab at my seatbelt, taking way longer than it should to get it undone. All the while, there's a bizarre, feral yelling sound next to me, and I didn't realize it's TJ until his claws hit my chest and arms. Yeah, and it digs in. Ow! TJ! Stop! Calm down! But he doesn't even respond, continuing on with that god-awful sound. Through the window! Carl's already out the rear deck, trying to push through the water coming through. Come on! Carl's screaming, panicked voice disappears suddenly, and I can only hope that it's because he got out. Chase! Chase, come on! We need to get out! Need to get you out! I feel Leo's big paw grabbing me, but I turn and push them away. I'm fine. Let me help TJ. Chase! Leo, I'm a fucking otter. The water at this point is up to my chest. The car's front end is tipping down in the water, and with the sparse moonlight coming in through the back, I can see it's up to Leo's neck. Kudzu is somehow in the back with me, and TJ where Carl was. He's staring at me, wide-eyed, looking torn between escaping and helping me. Go, Kudzu! Through the window! Leo, get out through your door! Chase! Go! I scream at basically everyone, and I can only hope that they do as I say, as I duck down and the water goes over my head. The quiet peace of underwater is a sharp contrast to the fucking chaos in my brain. Somehow in the wreck, the back seat crunched forward, and TJ's seatbelt button is lost somewhere in the crease. I grit my teeth. I can hold my breath almost 10 minutes, but I know for most other species, it's less than 2. Far less if you're panicking out of your mind like TJ is. I grit my teeth as I calmly try to reach between the folds between the seat and the back despite the desperate clawing the lynx is giving me. Again, though, it's far too wedged in to get a hold on. Soon, my calm demeanor melts away as I fumble uselessly with the seatbelt, and time stubbornly marches on. I feel myself start to panic as I just grab TJ around the body and yank him as hard as I can. But it's no use at all, and when I pull on the chest strap, it's jammed, and I can't get any slack. TJ grasps and claws starts to become weaker. I try to think of something to use to cut the strap, but there's nothing. Maybe a shard of glass? I move away and from TJ toward the back window, trying to ignore how he weakly tries to clutch at me. As I reach up to the seat, though, my hand slips between the headrest and rear deck. I reach in further and realize it's the trunk of the car. With a lunge, I reach out and feel along the bottom of the seat back. My paw runs up against something hard and metal, and I know I found what I'm looking for. I grab up the buckle and unlatch it. Swimming around as quickly as I can, I grab the strap across TJ's chest and set my feet against the seat. I pull back as hard as I can, and just like that, it comes undone. I scoop TJ up, and his limp body gives me an extra burst of adrenaline as I set my feet against the back of the driver's seat and push out. My aim is a little off as my head hits the ceiling instead, and I'm able to find the holes pretty quickly as I kick through it. It's a little awkward to undulate my body into a clean swim with TJ's weight, but I manage it well enough, and within seconds we break the surface. Ah, there we go. There, we're out of that. Oh, hello, Selkie. You missed the long boy? You really did. You really did. Oh, well. I breathe out into the air while TJ coughs and spatters. Here, let me take a drink from my thermos real quick. Okay. His arms wrap around my neck tightly, and I have to put a paw under his arm to keep him from strangling me. TJ, we're good. You're good. Calm down. I look around, and I'm amazed to see how far we are from the shore. It's a good 100 yards away. I can already see Kudzu standing there, and Leo's in the shallows, shouting to Carl, who's a few feet further in, splashing around. I kick off in that direction, as TJ continues to hyperventilate into my ear. TJ, it's okay, remember? When you used to ride on my back in the lake. It's like that, like old times. I try to adopt a soothing tone between my ragged gasps for air. TJ does finally settle back down, though his arms are still around my neck. We don't want that. Still a lot better than him dragging me down and down with him. His gasp calms down as we get closer to the shore, tapering off into a weird sort of mumbling sound. I can make out a few words, though, and one of them is a name. Sydney. I frown and swim a bit faster, wanting to get him to dry land so that he can get his wits back together. Meanwhile, Carl finally grabs onto Leo's outstretched paws, and the wolf pulls him back to the shore. All the while, he stares at me and TJ intently. He didn't deserve... Shush. I shush him gently as I finally feel my toes find the sandy bottom of the lake. I gently pull the lynx back with me to the narrow strip of sand between the lake and the incline that slopes up the road. Carl's already there, flat on his back, spread eagle, so I do the same with TJ, laying him down right next to the ram. He's still trying to talk, though. You can't tell the audience too much. Not in this route. Not in this route. Chase, did Sydney? How long did he... Gently, I put a paw over the lynx's muzzle. Shush you. It's alright, man. Try to relax. Breathe. Kudzu stands next to me and starts to reach out to touch my shoulder. You okay? And then a much paw comes out from behind me. That's fine. Excuse me. Probably much bigger paw? Yeah. Pushes Kudzu's arm aside as I pulled back into a tight hug. Leo huffs into my ear. Oh, thank God. Thank God. You were under for so long. It was like a minute, man. I'm okay. I reach back with a paw, settling it against the side of Leo's face. When I bring it back, I see that it's a bit darker than it should be. I look back and immediately see the gash on Leo's face. Shit, your head. Leo brushes off my paw. Your head? I think we both hit it on our windows when it hit us. I reach up, feeling around my forehead, before I feel a sore, sticky spot in my fur. It isn't a bad cut, but it's definitely leaking a good amount of blood. It was that thing that we saw next to Duke. I saw it standing on a hill, and it just rammed into us. I look over at Kudzu, who's moved to stand over Carl, his arms hugging his chest tightly. Kudzu, are you okay? I'm fine. He responds, and his response is tense and a little high-pitched. I don't know about Carl, though. I had a little trouble swimming back. Oh, he had a little trouble swimming back. Well, you know. Carl doesn't get a lot of exercise. He really doesn't have a lot of swimming practice in. Hey, dude, everyone in chat, you know how to swim, right? Right? I haven't swam in, like, 5, 6 years? Damn. Do I remember how to swim? I feel like that's something you don't forget. It's fine. It's fine. With those hooves, too. Oh, yeah. He's got little hoovesies. That's fine. It was once, but still. Okay. Uh, it's like riding a bike. You don't forget it easily. That's true. That's true. Carl lets out a choked cough in response. I gently pull away from Leo and kneel down next to the ram, between him and TJ. He's conscious, luckily, though his panting is a bit shallow. I set a paw gently on his head. You okay? Oh, yeah. He says it like he's asking me a question. You sure? I mean, yeah, I'm breathing. I didn't mean to leave you guys, but it's fine. Staying with us would have made things much worse. It's strange to me how collected I am right now. I guess it's that same numbing feeling that I've felt since escaping Brian's trailer. Just take the fucked up stuff in and roll with it. I'm not bad at swimming, but it was so fucking cold and my clothes felt like 1,000,000 pounds. Looking at his thick sweater, it isn't a surprise at all. TJ's quieted down next to me. His eyes are open, staring up at the sky as he chuffs quietly. They're so wide and glossy, I can see the reflection of the stars twinkling in them. I tentatively reach out and rest a paw on his head, like I did with Carl. Hello! Is this, how is this pronounced? Is it Javian? 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 Javian. Basse. Sorry, friend. I can't do names. Then I tentatively reach out and rest a paw on his head, like I did with Carl. TJ barely reacts, continuing to stare up at the sky. TJ. I feel Leo's huge presence crouch down next to me as he gets close and whispers into my ear. Listen, we have to get going to my house. I don't like being out here, especially if that thing really did do it. But TJ, I don't know if he's able. I'll carry him. And he does, scooping the lynx up into his arms like he's a bye. Alright, come on. We can rest in my house. Let's just get the fuck out of here. Leo starts trekking up the rocky slope. Kazuo and I wait for Carl, who lays on the ground a moment longer, before finally rolling over and getting laboriously to his feet. I hold one hand, and Kazuo holds the other, and together we make our way onto the road and back into Echo. Well, that settled down a lot easier than in Flynn's route, right? The walk to Leo's house is short, only about 15 minutes, but it feels like it takes much, much longer than that. Every tiny sound makes me jump, and I'm steeling myself for the moment when I see that creature again. Nothing happens, though. No screaming and no gunshots. Aside from the crickets, the town is dead quiet. Still, we keep to the shadows, cutting through some backyards and sagebrush, probably picking up dozens of spiders and ticks along the way. It feels, it's funny. Despite everything that's going on, spiders are the biggest thing that are on my mind as I push through the branches and foliage. Finally, the wolf's small house appears out of the dusty, dark night. Leo walks ahead of us with TJ. TJ asks to walk on his own halfway here, and now he's clinging to Leo's hand like a kid afraid of getting lost at the mall. I don't blame him. As we're all walking up to the house, though, Leo stops. Kudzu, Carl, and I crowd behind him. What is it? Leo puts a finger to his lips and then points at the window on the side of the house. It's broken. Shit. Leo gets out, lets go of TJ's hand, and then makes a stay here motion with the other as he starts creeping toward the house. With some difficulty and a few awkward sounds, Leo pulls his gun out of his wet pockets. I scream internally at the thought of Leo going in alone, and he's the only one with a proper weapon now. Would it still work? Would wet gun still work? Does it still? I don't know how gun work. If you dunk gun in water, does it still operate correctly? So do you think Leo would be saner in the in the Shining House or no? Who knows? Wait, unstable depending on the make and model? Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Apparently, Kudzu had lost his during the whole lake incident, which Leo is pretty pissed about. How can you be angry about that? It's just he doesn't have gun holster. Leo tries the door, then disappears inside, reaching out to make sure the screen door doesn't bang shut behind him. And then he was gone. We stand there in silence a moment, then Kudzu whispers, "Hey, let's stand back to back just in case." Yeah, okay. Kudzu turns towards the road, while I face towards Leo's house. Carl and TJ stand on the other side of us. He hasn't said a word since Leo put him put him down. Ever since what happened at the lake, something in him snapped. Maybe we should have just gone up to my place. Carl gazes up sadly towards the mountain, his mansion somewhere hidden in the darkness. I don't know. If someone broke into Leo's place and steal stuff, they definitely want to do the same to yours. Knowing this town, Kudzu's probably right. Most of the people here resented Carl's family and the way their mansion looked over the whole town. Like they're taunting us, as people would say. I keep my eyes on the house, trying to see through the black windows. Leo hasn't turned any of the lights on, of course, so I can't really see anything. Listening doesn't bring any clues either. So, what do you guys think, that thing was? Mass hallucination, not real. You know. Either that, or this is all a simulation. Would that have been like a bad plot twist? No one's actually an animal. You know, we do the ending of what's it called? Damn, what's that anime? Odd Taxi. We do that ending. No one's actually a furry. Spoilers for an anime that's 3 years old, I guess. I don't know. I still think it was a kind of animal. It was just a prank, Jan. Until Dawn? I have not played Until Dawn yet. Look, buying video games is expensive, okay? Like... wasn't planning on it and you ruined it. I mean, the character designs are still cute, so like, whatever. It practically bent the car in half. I say it out the side of my mouth, away from TJ. Maybe we should go inside. Probably safer in there than it is there. Wait, even if there's a burglar or whatever. Didn't the mayor say something about it? Like that it only kills if we're trying to leave? I glance back at Kudzu. Is that what she was talking about? Kudzu shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders. I really don't know, Chase. Oh, give me a second. What is this? Oh. Oh? Oh. I'll have to reply to that later. That's for after stream. Sorry, I had to check that. That was someone who normally doesn't message me, so I was like, oh, is something wrong? No, but it was just a funny. So we go back to Waden. I'm about to mention that maybe we should move closer to the house, just in case, when we hear a scream. It comes from inside Leo's house, and it definitely doesn't sound like Leo. Carl squeaks next to me. That's my job. Shit! I'm already running up to the stairs, though, and I hear the others following close behind. I push through the door, almost running headlong into the bench, where you're supposed to take off your shoes. Leo? I shout just as I realize that it's probably a bad idea. A moment passes where the only sound I hear is the heavy breathing of my friends behind me. Then, down here! Turn on the lights! His voice comes from the hallway and it's calm. I move a paw along the wall before finding the light switch, revealing the kitchen. Wow! We move down the hallway towards Leo's room where I can see that the light is on. Inside, I find Leo standing over his own bed. In the bed, I see someone else. A little polecat, disheveled in a tank top, looking even more skeletal than before. It's Clint curled up in a little ball, cowering. Leo has his gun pointed on him.
Wait, please don't shoot me. I just needed a place to stay.
Leo inches the gun lower. Then why aren't you at your own place? Kudzu and Carl stand next to me while TJ stays in the doorway, gazing in at us from the dim hallway. Leo raises his gun again, and I actually think he's actually going to shoot Clint. Clint raises his paw, whining. Leo, wait! He helped me find Chase. What? Leo glances at Kudzu, then back to Clint. He came to my door last night. He told me that he saw Chase in a trailer. I'm confused too, but I guess I never asked Kudzu how exactly he was able to find me. My mind immediately flashes back to when I saw Clint peering in at me from the trailer, asking Brian for drugs. I might not have found Chase if he hadn't told me. Clint nods enthusiastically to that, but Leo doesn't lower the gun. Wait, Leo, Clint hasn't done anything to hurt us since the start. It just... Everyone's gone fucking crazy. Might as well get rid of him before he gets a chance at it too. What? What are you doing, Leo? Leo's got a hardened look on his face, but that I don't recognize at all.
Wait! I know how to get out of here. I think.
Leo's stance falters, but only just. What do you mean?
That's why I'm here. Just to get the gun off of me for a second, and I'll explain.
Clint is twitchy and keeps scratching at his chest and arms. It comes off like he was able to find those drugs after all. Come on, Leo. It's all of us against him. He can't do anything to us. Leo keeps the gun up for a second, then finally lowers it with a dismissive grunt. Alright, fine. How are we supposed to get out of here? Clint slowly pushes himself up to sit against the frame of Leo's bed, clearing his throat.
Well, I think it might have something to do with the train yard.
There's a moment of silence as we all wait for Clint to go on. He just stares back at us, though. Well, stares at the gun in Leo's paw. Clint?
Huh?
Clint doesn't look at Kudzu as his eyes remain fixated on the pistol. Leo, just put the gun down for a second, okay? On the dresser behind you or something. Leo shakes his head. I'm not risking our lives again, Cud. I get it, though. Leo fixes Clint with a glare. The most I'm gonna do is keep the gun off of you, Clint. Clint flinches when Leo says his name. I look over and see Carl twisting his paws around in the pocket of his hoodie, his eyes wide. TJ, on the other hand, is still standing in the hall, his eyes glinting softly in the dim lighting. For some reason, I get the feeling that he's looking at me. Tell us now. Leo's tone turns dark, and I look over, half expecting him to have the gun up again. It's still pointed at the carpet, but I can practically see Leo's fingers twitching against the trigger guard. He looks almost excited. The Leo I know would never be so eager to kill someone. even if that someone happened to be Clint. I hope that when this is over, if we get out of this somehow, Leo is able to get back to that old self.
The... I...
Clint shaking so badly he can barely speak. Finally, Kudzu steps in between them. Alright, Leo. If you want to keep the gun, that's fine, but can you at least step into the hallway? Maybe he'll be able to calm down enough. No. Kudzu stops short, but I can see him set his jaw, drawing up his shoulders. Someone actually might have information to get out of here, and all you want to do is scare him shitless. I can see Leo puffing himself up too, and I don't like the look in his eyes. So I step forward on Kudzu's right, practically blocking Clint from Leo's line of sight. When I do, Leo's eyes snap to mine, the simmering snarl disappearing from his muzzle. Leo, come on. Otter, move out of the way. His tone is gentle, like I'm some kind of kid. No, Leo, you're acting weird right now. Just calm down for a second, okay? Leo frowns at me. Hey, I'm just trying to keep all of us safe. I see the wolf leaning his head to the side a little, like he's trying to keep an eye on Clint. Leo, let's go into the hole. Kudzu? I give the raccoon a sidelong glance. You can handle him for a few minutes, okay? Kudzu nods. I take a few cautious steps towards Leo. He looks between me and Kudzu now, and there's a different look on his face. One that I'm having trouble placing. I reach out and gently touch him. The muscles are hard, his biceps standing out thickly under his fur. Still, I gently try to push him toward the door. As I do, I feel him go a little slack, and with a whole lot of relief on my part, he finally starts moving toward the hallway. Carl, still gaping at the whole scene, suddenly seems to snap out of it and hurriedly moves out of our way into the hall. It's like, come on, Leo, let's fix you up a TV dinner. Let's relax, right? Leo reluctantly continues to shuffle down the hallway as I put an arm around his side, hugging him to me. He responds with the same gesture. We pass a solemn-looking TJ, his eyes following me as we move toward the kitchen. You okay, Teej? He doesn't say anything, instead just slowly following us into the kitchen. His fur is still all spiky and mussed up from the plunge into the lake, and his clothes look uncomfortably damp. That gives me an idea. Why don't we all get our clothes into the dryer? Then maybe we can have something to eat. There's a moment of silence, and neither TJ nor Leo give me any response. Carl gives a muffled cough, though. Actually, I could go for some food.
Yeah, let's go make some food. It'll be nice, right, guys? Right.
About 20 minutes later, Carl, TJ, and I are sitting in the laundry room, putting our clothes through the dryer. I can hear Leo in the kitchen, frying something up on the stove. While I should be worried about not keeping an eye on him, he's calmed down considerably since we were in the bedroom. Also, the laundry room is between the kitchen and the bedroom, so it would be pretty hard for him to get past us without me seeing. So I keep watch, leaning against the wall, staring out into the dark hallway. Carl sits on the dryer, vibrating along with it, while TJ sits on the floor, cross-legged, looking at nothing. This feels so good on my ass, dude. What? The vibration? No. The heat. I was freezing. I didn't even realize it. Carl knocks his hooves against the side of the metal dryer. Hey, Tej, wanna join me up there?
No, thank you.
You could just lean up against the side. You gotta be cold, too. I love the necessary everyone naked segment.
I mean, they're not, like, full naked. You know, they had some undies on, you know.
This time, TJ doesn't say anything, and I finally look away from the hallway. TJ, are you okay? Do you want to talk? TJ looks up at me, again with those emotionless eyes. No, I don't want to talk to a murderer. He says it too quietly. Okay, it's almost like he says nothing at all. Is as close as YouTube will allow. That's true. That's true. That's why I'm confident that I can stream this game, right? That's why I have to pre-record, like, playthroughs on my main channel, right? It's like, boy, do I have to sit there and censor more of Shelter. Meanwhile, in the smoke room, I had to censor so many parts of the smoke room playthrough. Like, Christ. At least that playthrough is, like, one of my most viewed, so it almost makes up for it. Granted, it spiked in viewership a month ago. You all know. I hold his gaze for a while before looking away. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, Tej. We're gonna be out of here in no time. Carl slides off the dryer, his damp underwear squeaking loudly against the metal as he clops to the ground. He gives a few strategic tugs of his underwear to probably loosen up the wedgie he's created. Then he sits down on the ground in front of TJ, cross-legged as well. You appreciate the effort? I hope so. Because sometimes it's more than I would like. Sometimes. It's a lot of weird little things, you know. It's part of the reason why I didn't re-upload Shelter for the longest time. It's just like, man, I have to edit every single part and watch through scenes to see if I should be removing whole scenes now. Ever since YouTube changed their terms of services in, like, late 2022. That was so fucking annoying. TJ barely looks up at him, and I noticed the links trembling slightly. Listen, back at my house, I was, like, stuck in this weird trap version of my house. Like there was no exit. TJ finally glances up at the RAM. And well, I thought I was going to be stuck forever. I was panicking. It was like a nightmare that wouldn't end. But then, when I was giving up, you guys woke me up. I mean, sure, I sort of woke up into another nightmare, but at least I'm with you guys, right? I hear shifting. Then the bedroom door swings open fully, and Kudzu appears, slipping out and closing the door quietly behind him. Can't they just put an adult filter? So if you don't know, there actually is an 18+ option when you upload videos to YouTube, right? There actually is. You can, like, by default, there is a this video is not for kids thing that's automatically checked off for legal reasons. But there is an advanced setting to be, like, make it 18+. Where, like, you need to be logged in to be able to watch the video and such, and, like, your account has to be, like, 18+. Here's the issue with that. That does not exempt you from any of terms of services. Making it the most, why is this even here kind of thing. It is very weird. It is very odd that they specifically are like, even though you turn videos to 18+, you are still compliant to all written terms of services. It's the strangest thing. The raccoon spots me and moves over to stand next to me, his ears perked. Hey. Hey. Is this how people talk? Isn't this... I see Kudzu's nose twitch at the air, looking towards the kitchen. Leo. He's cooking. Ah. So, how'd it go? You were in there for a while. Kudzu sighs and leans against the wall of the hallway, looking back at the closed door. Puts the video under moderation. I don't think it does. I'm told that it doesn't, anyway. That, and it actually makes it significantly harder for the video to be viewed on top of that, so it doesn't feel like there would be a reason for it to be monitored more. You know what I mean? It's weird, because once you click 18+, it removes it from the algorithm entirely, and will even make it to where it doesn't appear in subscription boxes. It is very odd. I do not understand how the system is supposed to work. It is very weird. I don't know, really. Said something about a train going through here the past few days after everything started. Through the rail yard. Frustrating. Yeah, even it do be a thing. That was why I almost quit a couple years back. But, you know, I'm still here. I'm still making content. That's what he says. Huh. That didn't make much sense. The rail yard had been abandoned for the past at least 50 years. Are you sure he isn't just like the rest of us, seeing things? Kudzu shrugs. I don't really know. Hard to tell with a guy like him. Yeah. Well, I remember some guy inspecting the rails a few weeks ago. Maybe they opened one up again. Oh, excuse me. That idea almost seems strange to me, but I don't know much about trains. So what? If there is a train going through here, are we just supposed to jump onto it? That was his plan anyway. Sounds like fun. My mind jumps to Robert Smith and what exactly happened to him when he tried to hop a train. Even if we were able to get on the train, could that creature still get to us? It was able to knock the car into the lake, so I don't know what it's capable of. So, when does the train come? He's not sure. Said it seems random. I sighed loudly. Welp. Then we all jump as the dryer finishes with a loud grating buzz. I shakily rub my face, then move to open the dryer. Well, let's at least get our clothes back on. Then we can go to the kitchen and tell Leo what's going on. We all sit on the table, eating quietly as Kudzu tells Leo everything. The food looks like some kind of vegetable stir-fry. What vegetables are in it? Is that what I'm going to have for dinner? I don't really know what I'm going to do for dinner, guys. I do have, like a beef skirt steak thing marinating in my fridge because it was on sale. And I do have some veggies, so I could, like, make a stir-fry. I only have canned mushrooms, though. But I do have some, like, frozen mixed veg. So maybe we do something with that. Maybe we'll do something with that. The first bite reminds me that I'm starving, and it's hard not to just try to shove all of it into my mouth at once. Can't wait for that tier list. All the canned foods tier list. I don't want to spend the money to buy a bunch of canned food. I barely get canned food. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's much worse tier lists that I can do if we were to do things again. I thought about trying to bring back, like, the attempts to critique series that I did, like, 3 years ago, I should probably unlist those videos just because, like, I don't really like those streams. So maybe I'll keep them up for prosperity. And it is on the old channel. That is technically back, so you can view it again. Because that was my original channel that YouTube took down after they changed terms of services. But I do have it technically back. I just don't upload there anymore. It was gone for so long, I just kind of went like, well, I'm not going back there. That'd be a waste. I've semi-built up a new channel. Do be that way. I could do like that because I don't really like setting up tier list streams, because using the tier list website fucking sucks, right? It's not a very good website to use, and then like making a whole tier list thing in Photoshop is also annoying. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Carl sits across from me, does just that. Oh yeah, I guess I did never do that last attempts to critique of what is it? If YouTube would let me have any, right? But the Pokemon Gen 9? I never did the Scarlet and Violet Gen for attempts to critique. I could make more people upset with how much I criticize Pokemon designs. Yeah, those were just a bad idea, wasn't it? I'm sorry I was in like an art program in college, and thus I'm like, don't think about it in terms of I like this Pokemon. It's like, no, let's actually talk about the design. That was a bad idea. Pokemon fans are insane is what I learned. How dare you criticize that Pokemon? My older brother traded me that when I was 5. I'm emotionally connected to it. People are weird, okay? That sounds like a lot of bullshit. Kudzu shrugs. I don't know what else to go on. Why would he lie anyway? To buy him some time. Kudzu closes his eyes for a second, breathing in deeply. Listen, Leo. There's no way he's going to try anything. He's scared out of his mind right now. Duke was scared. Didn't stop him from trying to kill us. He's probably worse that he's scared. How dare you, not me, make this personal, right? Leo looks up the hallway toward the bedroom, and I'm starting to not like the look in his eyes again. In fact, I'm wondering why the fuck we left him in the room alone in the first fucking place. Yeah, excuse me. Leo starts to show his teeth. I reach out and rest a paw on the wolf's arm again, feeling the tension of the muscles under the fur. Hey, don't worry about it. But he jerks his arm away, and suddenly he turns on me. Why the hell are you taking his side with this shit? You were... excuse me. Oh, you were with that fucking bear. You know what these crazies are doing. I wince internally at being reminded of the incident, but I try again, reaching out. Yeah, but Clint isn't Brian. You know he was pushed around by that bear too. Leo pulls his arm further away from me. He's looking back and forth between me and Kudzu again. What is this? You're acting like I'm the crazy one. Oh, Leo. It's okay. I love you even though you're still crazy. It's almost a perk, one might say. It means I get to be the rational one. The wolf pushes his chair back from the table. I heard you whispering shit in the hall. You've been saying things behind my back. Leo narrows his eyes at Kudzu. Whoa, dude, chill out. Why don't you keep eating, Carl? Carl. Carl, go down. Leo shifts his gaze toward the bedroom again before abruptly standing up. I'm gonna check on him. Oh, that's why. Leo's the only one. Josh is more rational than... Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not entirely true. I feel like the majority of, I did a husbando chart stream, like, 3 years ago. Maybe I should do that again. Just because that was also on the old channel. Those people, I don't want to say they were all insane, because, you know, they weren't. There were rational people there. But, you know. You know. Canned husbando tier list? No. Leo. I start to stand up as well, but Kudzu is one step ahead of me. I move to intercept the wolf, both hands out. Come on, Leo. But he doesn't get to finish. Instead, the wolf goes straight into him, grabbing one of his arms and punching him in the face. Lit! Kudzu sees it coming and is able to duck, but he's not quite fast enough. Leo's knuckles glance off the raccoon's muzzle, knocking his head around. Kudzu, go down! Leo keeps a hold of the arm and swings Kudzu around, away from the hallway and back into the kitchen. Kudzu takes the fall rather well, going into a sort of roll. He does end up banging against Carl's chair, but he comes up on one knee, panting and staring up at Leo. His nose is bleeding. What the fuck? I'm standing before I know it, and moving around the table to stand at Kudzu's side. I look over him, trying to see if Leo has done him any serious damage before I look back at the wolf. What are you doing? Carl clumsily tries to help the raccoon. His ears fall flat on his head. The entity watching this. Oh my god. Leo breathes heavily, staring down at Kudzu before his eyes flick to me. Get away from him. What? Get away from him. This time, there's a growly quality to his voice, and I see his fingers drift towards the belt. I do move away from Kudzu, but only just. I don't want either of us getting shot. Leo turns his attention to Kudzu. You, out! Kudzu stares up at the wolf for only a moment before getting briskly to his feet. His breathing is so erratic, I'm wondering if he's going to have a panic attack. He gives me a single glance before hurrying out of the kitchen. I want to stop him, get in his way like he did Leo's. But the way Leo's face right now has me frozen, and I can't do or say anything as I watch the raccoon's tail disappear. I hear the door swinging open, then bang shut. I look back, and almost jump as I see Leo's eyes are still on me, studying me. He stares a while longer before turning away and stomping loudly down the hall. Carl is frozen next to me, and TJ just sits there, his eyes down on his plate, food untouched. God damn it, TJ! Eat your fucking food! Eat your vegetables! It's healthy for you! Still numb, I have to force myself to walk forward, following Leo, terrified of what's about to happen. Leo, wait! My voice is too quiet, too soft for the wolf to even hear me. The door ahead of me swings open. There's a moment of silence, then. Leo curses loudly, and I run to the door frame looking inside, not sure what I'm about to find. What I find is nothing. No one's inside. The covers of the bed are thrown back and the window wide open. See? See? I told you! Leo's voice goes from an almost scream to a hushed whisper as he moves to the window, looking out into the night. He slides the window shut, then locks it. This is exactly what I was worried about. What? Inside, I'm relieved more than anything. For some reason, I'm positive that if Clint was still here, or if Leo had caught him in the act of trying to escape, I don't doubt he would have tried to shoot him. That stupid fucking raccoon. thinking he knew what was best. Leo continues to peer out the window, his ears perked up. I know what the hell's best for us. Thinks he can just come in and tell everyone what to do. See what happens. I start to move back into the hallway, toward the kitchen, but Leo suddenly whirls around on me. His frown turns into a soft, uncertain smile. Hey, Otter. Are you okay? Yeah. I don't say anything, just stare at him. Otter? Vaguely, I can hear Carl clop around uncertainly in the hallway, probably too afraid to get close. I try to speak, then wet my lips. Yeah? Leo extends a paw. Come here. Did I scare you? I fidget with my paws. No. Well, come on then. Slowly, I move into the wolf's room. Despite my dragging feet, my mind is racing, trying to decide what the hell is going on and what the hell I'm going to do. Leo's lost it. There's no question about it. It's something that I've sort of known for the past day, ever since we found him in Duke's basement. And now it's getting worse. A lot worse. Still, I continue to move toward him, like I'm in some kind of dream. Soon he's got me wrapped up in his arms, and despite the warmth, despite the strength I feel in them, I don't feel good about it at all. I'm just scared. Chula. He breathes into my ear, sending shivers down my spine. I told you I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you safe. That's exactly what I'm going to do. He starts rocking me back and forth, shifting us around on his feet, like we're doing some kind of half dance at prom. He's moved us around so that I'm looking at the door, and I can see Carl's horns, his eye fearfully peering into the room. That raccoon. He wasn't good for you. Good for me. He helped me. Leo gives me a squeeze that almost knocks the breath from my lungs, then the hand that cuts me off. Maybe. Maybe not. I could see him acting strange, kind of like the others. The wolf continues to rock us back and forth as I continue to look over Leo's shoulder, seeing in Carl's eyes that this is definitely fucked up. I don't say anything else to Leo, worried about how he might take it if I try to convince him that Kudzu was only trying to help us. I'm going to get you out of here. Like I should have done from the beginning, okay? He gives me a little shake when I'm silent a little too long. Okay. Okay. And he keeps rocking me like that for what seems like hours. And when we make our another revolution, I can see that Carl is not there anymore. Then I hear something. Soft at first, then louder and louder. Leo stops dancing with me. I can make out a rhythm, dull metallic sound accompanied by a horn. A train? TJ and Carl are standing at the back door, staring out into the night. Leo pushes past them, ears perked as he tries to see through the darkness. The train sounds incredibly close, almost like it's only feet away. Should we go for it, like Clint said? Leo pauses, his nose twitching before he waves the paw at us. You guys stay here. I'm gonna have a look. Leo! And just like that, the wolf disappears into the night, leaving us behind. I stare out into the night. Well, I guess Clint wasn't shitting us after all. Yeah. All I can think about right now, though, is Kudzu. Did he hear the train right now? Was he on his way over there? I look over to my right towards Kudzu's house, only a few hundred feet away. Quietly, I start stepping outside. Chase? Carl's voice behind me is timid, scared. I look back at him, able to make out the whites of his eyes in the darkness. TJ lurks behind him, staring at me as well, though, far more stoically. I'll be right back. I just need to check on Kudzu. Everything that Kudzu had done for me up to this point, saving me multiple times, making sure that I was doing okay, nursing me back to health. Hell, even helping me with my project before all of this shit went down. I'm not going to abandon him. Just like with Leo, when he was imprisoned by Duke, I feel like it's my responsibility. Only this time, the urge is even stronger. I have to make sure Kudzu makes it out of here like the rest of us. Carl, though, doesn't look so enthusiastic about that. I don't know if that's such a good idea. You saw Leo. Carl looks over my shoulder, and I do the same, worried that maybe the wolf was coming back. But all I see is darkness. I realize then that Carl is just as afraid of the wolf as I am right now. I swear, I'll only be away for a few minutes. If Leo asks, I don't know, just tell him I needed some air. That won't. I don't wait for Carl to finish a sentence. My eyes slowly adjust, but it's too dark to really see any more than 5 feet. The amount of stars ahead is almost dazzling, but it's not enough enough light to help me see. In fact, it's almost disorienting. The way the bright powder look over the sky clashes with the black horizon of the mountains. Focusing on it too much makes my stomach turn, and I turn my eyes down, trying to focus on the barely visible ground and Waku? Waku. Okay. Until my face slams right into something big, hard, and full of twigs. Jesus fucking god damn it! I shout whisper into my paws, covering my nose, afraid for a second that maybe I ran one of my eyes through. A quick but shaky examination of my fingers puts that fear at ease, even though I feel like my muzzle has gone flat into my face. That jolt had me feeling all the aches of my past 2 incidences with cars. I stand there in the dark for a moment, gathering my senses. It's almost completely silent now. The train, if it was a train, has passed us by at this point. The metallic clanks and rushing sound is far behind me. Standing in silence, though, is starting to give me second thoughts. I'm pretty sure there aren't any trees between Leo and Kudzu's place. Did I get off track somehow? Something cracks a little ways ahead of me, and I freeze up, my ears twitching. I listen hard, trying to hear anything above the crickets. Okay, yeah, this was really fucking stupid. I remember that I'm not all that far away from Leo's house, and look back at the yellow squares of windows in the distance. I should probably go back to reorient myself and try to get to Kudzu's house again. As I turn around, though, another crack behind me, followed by a muffled voice. Shit. I freeze at the voice. I open my mouth to try to quietly call out, but stop myself. I can't be sure, but it sounded like Kudzu, albeit muffled and low-pitched. I decided to wait a while longer, with one foot pointed out towards Leo's house. And then, this time, the sound is right next to me and jumps into the air. I make a run for the house, and I'm almost immediately trip. Take a drink, everyone. Over several rocks, going face first into the ground. I'm scrambling at the ground with my paws and feet when I hear the voice again. Whoa, Chase! I stumble back to the ground in relief. Oh my god, Kudzu? What the hell are you doing? I feel the raccoon's paws feel over me, then pull me back to my feet. I heard the train. Then I saw someone. Are you okay? From the faint light of the stars, I make out Kudzu's ears and the tip of his muzzle. My eyes have adjusted to the point where I can even see the mask in his face. Yeah, I wanted to come get you in case we were going to try to hop the train. I look over my shoulder, trying to listen for the train again. Little late for that, eh? Well, yeah. But I didn't want to leave you behind. I rub my face, where I hit the branch. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Leo, but Maybe we can go back and try to talk. Kazuyu shakes his head. Nah, I don't think he's gonna listen. As much as I hate to admit it, Kazuyu's probably right. Well, I'm not going to leave you out here after everything we went through. I see a glint of white teeth as Kazuyu gives me a small smile. Wow, well. Thanks, man. But really, you should probably get back there before he... At the same time, I realize something. Wait. What were you doing out here? You said you saw someone. Kazuyu shifts slightly from one foot to the other. I thought I did, at least. Like someone from town, or? I think I saw one of your friends. What? Yeah, the fox. Jenna. Jenna? Well, we can ignore that. My eyes go wide and I turn back to the darkness, squinting. Where? Where did you see her? Kazuyu turns to look at me, then takes a few steps forward. Well, I was going back to my trailer after the whole thing with Leo. Then this fox girl just kinda jumped up from the side of my house. Where did she go? My heart starts hammering in my chest right now as I strain to see her. And Jenna's been on my mind since the very beginning, and her absence has only become more prominent after finding the others. Well, I think she went off in that direction. Kazuyu points into the darkness. I could hear her running off, but then the footsteps stopped, so I thought she might have stopped and hid somewhere. Come on then. I motion Kazuyu forward and step toward the blackness of the wilderness. Hold on. I was gonna grab a flashlight. There's no way we're gonna find anything out there at this time of night. You go get them. I'll wait. Of course, I'm terrified of being alone, but I'm also terrified of Jenna running away if I don't keep watch. I'm getting the feeling she might be under the same influence that Carl or TJ had been earlier. You sure? Yeah, I want to stay here in case she comes out. I wave him away. Okay, but yell if something happens, alright? Okay. Kazuyu goes in and comes out within less than a minute, though it feels way longer than that. While he was gone, I risked a few loud whispers of Jenna's name, and I didn't get any response. Pretty soon, a beam of light is sweeping the dirt, sagebrush, and cacti as we slowly make our way in the direction that Jenna had run. Apparently, it was through the backyard and out toward the desert. I'm worried that maybe she didn't stop running. Why was she running? Did she say anything? I whisper softly at Kazuyu as I follow along with him, one hand on his shoulder. No, they just looked up at me and took off, looked terrified of something. I frown, my paw tightening a bit on the raccoon's shoulder. Maybe it's just because she doesn't know you, right? Maybe she was headed to Leo's place. Maybe. I try to focus on the sea of pale glow in front of me, the bright, cold light of the flashlight sucking the color out of the desert. The grays and whites all sort of blend together after a while, and the swinging motion of the beams starts to lull me into a weird hypnotic state. It's at this moment that I catch movement out of the corner of my eye, on the right where the light isn't currently pointed. I hear the sound of shifting dirt and gravel, immediately followed by a bizarre, high-pitched snarl that makes me gasp in horror. I actually even piss myself a little, oh my god, as I see a glint of white teeth. Kazuyu tries to swing the beam back in the direction of the sound, and at the same time I try to pull him back with the paw of his shoulder. Whatever it is hits Kazuyu hard, knocking him back and sends me stumbling away to land on my ass. The flashlight rolls away from the raccoon's paws and shines into my face, briefly blinding me. I can sense a loud growling commotion right in front of me, along with the sound of Kazuyu's grunting. Numbly, I reach out and snatch up the flashlight, then turn it on the sound. Wait, then turn it on the sounds. What? First, I see Jenna, her ears back, teeth bared, swinging her paw at the crumpled heap on the ground. That heap is Kudzu, and he's got his arms up in self-defense, snarling back, his eyes wide. Jenna? Just like that, the snarl drops, and her face and her eyes snap up at mine. Chase? But then the position is suddenly reversed as Kudzu grabs the fox by the wrist and practically barrel rolls. Now Kudzu sits on her back as he keeps a hold on her wrist. Wait, stop! I rush over to them, grabbing Kudzu's upper arm and trying to pull his paw away from Jenna. It's okay, she's good. She recognizes me. Kudzu only hesitates for a moment before scrambling off the fox and backing away, breathing hard. Jenna quickly sits up, absent-mindedly brushing off her shirt as she looks up at me. Oh my god, Chase? She says it as a hush whisper, putting a paw to her mouth. Jenna, are you okay? Are you okay? I reach down to help her up, and she immediately goes to hug me. I stand there awkwardly for a moment as she buries her face into my shoulder, gasping for breath. I'm not sure if she's crying or not. Are you okay? I ask again, patting her back awkwardly. Sorry. I'm fine. Jenna steps back and wipes under her eyes with the back of her paw. I didn't know where any of you were. Where were you? Jenna looks alright for the most part, except for a bunch of dirt on her clothes and her fur. But then I don't know if that's from before or after she was wrestling with Kudzu. I don't know. I was out in the desert and it's still dark, obviously, but I can make out the frown on her face as she seems to struggle for words. Finally, Kudzu steps in. Hey, I'm going to my trailer. We can talk it out in there, all right? Jenna silently nods, then seems to really focus on Kudzu. Wait, who are you? Does that matter? Like, come on, Jenna. I feel like I wouldn't ask questions in this scenario. It's just like, well, he's a sane person, or at least Chase is, like, okay with this person being here, so it's okay. Like, just cool. All right. Either that or I'd be like, wow, cute boy in a tank top. I'm not asking any questions. Maybe that's just me. I step in for the raccoon. This is Kudzu. He's a friend. He saved me a bunch of times. That seems to be good enough for Jenna. With that out of the way, we all head back toward the trailer. Quietly, Kudzu lets us into his trailer, opening the screen door slowly so that it doesn't creak. He motions us inside, and Jenna follows in behind me, pressing closer. I suppose she has good reason to be wary of the place. She doesn't really know Kudzu at all, and at this point, it's hard to even trust people that you do know. Kudzu closes the door and slides the lock in place. Jenna stands next to me in the small living room area, arms folded tightly over her body like she's hugging herself. Hey, you want to sit down? I gesture at the recliner, which Jenna stares at for a few seconds. I don't know. The fox's ears are twitching around and pointed straight up. I turn to the small love seats set against the wall instead. Maybe there. I can sit with you. After a few more moments of staring at the couch, Jenna finally nods. She walks stiffly over to the couch, looking at it for a moment before finally sitting down. I notice 3 clumped up patches of fur on the back of her neck, and takes a moment to realize that it's dried blood. Had someone attacked her? Had she hurt herself? Jenna still doesn't relax when we're settled, and I instead sat bolt upright. Okay. Leaning hard against my shoulder. Much like her ears, her eyes are darting around, almost over to the curtained window to our right. Meanwhile, Kudzu elects to sit in the empty recliner after turning it a little to face us. The scraping sound it is making on the floor causes Jenna to jump. Kudzu pauses, blinking, then settles back in the recliner. Sorry. I really should have put a rag under this thing. Jenna doesn't say anything and instead just looks back at the window. Kudzu shifts awkwardly in the chair, then looks at me. I look at Jenna, trying to think of something to say. And Jenna beats me to it. Do you know where the others are? TJ or Carl? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're at Leo's place. Them and Leo. And Jenna frowns at me. Then why are we here? Let's go. She starts to stand up, but I reach out a paw, grabbing her arm. She flinches and yanks away from me, standing up fully. Sorry. Just hold on a second. It's complicated. Why? And Jenna takes a step back from me, folding her arms. The look in her eyes is worrying, like she's starting to not trust me. Look, Leo, he's kind of uptight right now. I guess I just wanted to give him some space. Give myself some space, really, away from him. Kudzu shifts in his chair again. He kicked me out. Things got a little heated between us. Jenna looks at Kudzu, the deep frown still on her face. Why? Leo wouldn't do that without a reason. She looks back at me, as if wanting some sort of confirmation. I nod. Leo isn't really himself right now. I'm really worried about him. Can we go over there and talk to him? I open my mouth, but I pause, trying to think of the right way to say it. I don't know. Not right now. I'm not leaving Kudzu, so I'm gonna have to think of a way to get Leo to calm down. I also consider just staying separated from him until we get out of here, but I don't want to tell Jenna that. She looks stressed out enough as it is. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if Leo is out there hunting me right now. Odds are that he's going to come here eventually, maybe. Or he's with his new chunter. Who knows? Maybe he jumped the train already. That reminds me, though. Oh, yeah. We think we found a way out. Really? Yeah. Apparently a train goes through here once in a while. We're thinking we can hitch a ride on it. Jenna takes that in, then just nods. The silence drags on for a minute or two before I lean forward towards her again. How would you feel if you saw Leo with a Josh plus? What? Well, I mean, obviously the epilogue of this game is that Leo gets with a bird named Josh, right? It's just, you know. He gets with me for. He doesn't need Chunter anymore, I got him. It's okay, just sit down and relax for a minute. She does so with even more hesitance than the first time, sitting on the couch cushion like it might be a landmine. So, where were you these past few days? If you won't tell me, I mean. If you want to tell me, I mean. And Jenna stares at the floor, then shrugs. I don't really know. It's kind of a blur. I nod. Yeah, same. I guess it happened 2 or 3 days ago. I don't remember, but everything was normal until TJ woke up. It was like he was in a trance or something. I wasn't sure what was wrong with him. I thought he might have been having a seizure. Then I thought he was in a psychosis of some kind. He left the motel and just started running, so I followed him. He ran all the way to the lake, and I was sure he was going to go in. But then he just stopped on the shore and stared at it. I caught up to him and tried to talk to him, but it was like I wasn't there. All he could do was say your name. Chase. Chase! Where's Chase? I think he was looking in the water for you. Jenna looks right up at me. I don't know why. Do you? Of course not. I shake my head. I have no idea. Liar. The couch tilts. And so I sort of grabbed his shoulder to lead him back, away from the lake. But then he turned on me, and he sort of just changed. The water changed that day. My head spins, and I brace my paws against the armrest, trying not to fall over. And then he attacked me, claws me up. And for the first time, Jenna sticks out her arm and pulls back some of the fur where I see bite and crusted blood. Bits of crusted blood. You knew what water felt like. I had to run from him, and he chased me for a while. To everyone else. And as I did, I realized the whole town was different. Everyone was different. Suffocating. I swallow hard, still gripping into the couch, but Jenna doesn't seem to notice, and Kudzu's looking at her. The humming in my head finally starts to die down. You say he's at Leo's. Is he okay? Did he explain what happened? I shake my head, but only for a little. But only a little. I feel like I'm going to throw up. No, but he has been acting a little strange, I guess. I need to talk to him. Make sure he's actually okay. We will. Though I'm not sure that she'll find him okay at all. So what happened after all that? It looks like you were hiding out there. Kudzu gestures a paw out the window. Jenna covers her face with both paws, sighing deeply. That I'm not too sure about. After I ran it all just sort of became a dream. I only remember bits and pieces. We wait a moment as Jenna seems to think. I remember I went back to the motel, I think, but then I saw something. Jenna pauses, then lets out a little humorless laugh. A thing that I remember from my childhood. A monster, I guess. A monster? Yeah. Like this thing. Jenna waves her paws in front of her face. Had like a red face and, I don't know. I thought I saw it in my closet a few times as a kid. Felt like it was chasing me. What do you think it was? Jenna laughs hollowly again. Oh, I don't think it's anything. I must have had my own little breakdown over seeing everyone else's. Jenna sighs deeply again, sitting back on the couch. But then you guys came along, and now I think everything is clear. Jenna leans back for a moment, breathing deeply, and for the first time, it seems like she's relaxing a bit. She turns her attention back to Kudzu. Hey, Kudzu. Wait a second, guys. Okay. Alright. We're good. We do it? Okay. Kudzu nods. Mind if I use your restroom? I just need a moment to collect myself. And pee, too. An actual toilet would be nice. No, yeah. Just right there. Kudzu points at the thin little white door between the kitchen and the living area. Thanks. And with that, Jenna disappears into the bathroom. Kudzu and I sit in the silence for a moment, listening to the sound of running water from the faucet. Well, I think we have a reason to go back to Leo's house. I know he won't be mad at you if he knows you found Jenna. I don't know about that, but yes, we're going to have to go back with her. I'll talk to him first, in case he's still out of it. Again, thanks. I am glad you're here with me right now. Kudzu rubs his arm awkwardly. I get panicky when things get physical, which they have a lot lately. I gesture at the cushion next to me, and after a moment of hesitation, Kudzu gets up from the recliner to sit next to me. I reach out to him and squeeze him to my side. It's cool. Like I said, you saved my ass so many times at this point. It's the least I can do. I almost tell him that he's been there for me more than anyone at this point, but that feels like a bit too much right now. Kudzu chuckles and leans back, his arms brushing mine. Ah, Ben, hello! Hope you're doing okay. I think I saw. Yeah, you were in your server for a bit, right? I think I saw that you had titled the thing like Crunch Time. So I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're not working too hard, right? It's bad to overwork yourself. But I hope you're doing good. Cuzzy chuckles and leans back, his arms brushing mine. I didn't always used to be like this, you know. What? A fucking coward. What? Kudzu. Kudzu, please. I scrunch my muzzle up. What? No way! You've been insanely brave. Kudzu shakes his head. Nah. You saw me at Duke's house when you got caught, and then down in the basement when Leo tossed me out. Those are all great reasons to have been scared, Kudzu. It's all done. There you go, Ben. You survived. Congratulations. Now you can sit back and relax, right? Those are all great reasons I've been scared, Kudzu. You still faced all of it. Kudzu looks unconvinced. I don't know, Chase. After what Leo did, I don't think I was gonna come back. I shrug. Well, then I'm glad I came after you then. Kudzu's quiet for a moment. Then he chuckles quietly, leaning his head back to stare at the ceiling. What? Just, I moved to Echo to get away from stuff like this. Kudzu shakes his head. Now look at what happened. It's fucking ridiculous. Like people going crazy. That and guns and violence. Payton isn't as a rough city compared to the others in this country. But it has rough patches. Group projects. Do I miss those from college? Not really. Well, I treated group projects like individual projects. I would just tell my group, I'm doing this, this, and this. Do not message me. And I called it a day. That was how we, the first day of any group project, or as I like to call it, the last day of any group project, is just we divvy up who does what, and we do not talk to each other. Introvert core? No. Well, I don't know. People tell me that I act like an introvert online, but that all of my friends in person tell me that I'm an extrovert because of how because of how I act in person. It do be that way. It's more, I know that if we sit there and do a group project, everyone's going to twiddle their thumbs and go, oh, well, I don't know what to do. What are you going to do? Well, so I typically just would slam my hand on the table, divvy up who does what. Go, are you doing this? Are you okay with that? Cool, you're doing that. You're okay with doing this? You're doing that, okay? Goodbye. I expect to see everyone's stuff at least an hour before the presentation time. I got places to be. I'm an introvert until I'm with introverts. Then then I'm an extrovert. No, I kind of just do and say what I want, like most of the time. It is what it is. And I lived in one of those patches. I think you told me that you moved here because there's less people. Kudzu sighs quietly. It's not the only reason. I lost someone a few years back. I needed a fresh start, I guess. The silence drags out for a moment as I contemplate that. My eyes drift to the picture frame by the love seat, to the one where someone had their arm around Kudzu. In it, I see a hare smiling just as toothily as the raccoon next to him, a good head taller than his companion. But right now, where I am. But now, look where I am. I snap my eyes back to the raccoon, not wanting to be caught looking. Wait, how did you do group project, Selby? Are we aiming for the stars or a pass? And everyone said pass, and I did enough to get us the pass. Amazing. Amazing. That's fine. I don't know what to say, so I just settle with, we're gonna get out. Just gotta listen for that. Gotta listen for that train. A bun BF? Yeah, do be that way. Mm-hmm. Kudzu has his eyes closed, so I lean back too. Despite all of the shit going on outside, there's something really peaceful about being here, next to Kudzu in his neat little trailer. We sit there a while, listening to the soft rush of running water. After a while, I look toward the bathroom, realizing how uncomfortably full my bladder is right now. Chase. Please understand, Chase. Please. Jenna doesn't seem to be coming out anytime soon, though. Listen, I gotta take a piss. Again? Kudzu smirks at me. Why you smirking? Well, yeah, it's been a few hours. I pee a lot anyway. Oh, yeah? Very good to know. Piss in the sink. Yeah, I'll be right back. Kudzu's joking demeanor suddenly drops. I don't know. I think we should stick together right now. Remember what happened last time. You want to watch me? Kudzu pauses. I'll stand in the doorway, alright. Just go by the side of the trailer. Alright. I head back outside while Kudzu hangs back by the door. Just make it quick again. And again. Yell if something happens. It's fine. I'll only be a few feet away. I hide a small smile at how motherly Kudzu's being right now. After everything that's happened, it's no wonder. I move around to the side of the trailer, back into the darkness. Quickly, I unbutton then zip down my fly. I start to go when I hear some footsteps behind me. I look over my shoulder. Kudzu, what? Then two massive paws wrap around my body. I look down and get a glimpse of thick claws and brown matted fur. I scream as I'm pulled back into the dark, toward the desert. I know who it is immediately. The smell is unmistakable. That and the high-pitched voice cursing as he drags me along through the brush. Chase! Kudzu screams like it's only a few yards away. He's going to catch up to us and then, I don't know what. Try to fight Brian off, I guess. But just as I'm thinking that, Brian picks me up off the ground and practically throws me. Just the next thing I know, my head is throbbing as the back of it knocks against something hard. My legs are splayed upwards, my foot pads pressed against something smooth and cool. I hear more cursing and the sound of snarling. Kudzu? Then I hear the sound of a car door slam, and I realize I'm in a truck, my feet pressed against the windshield. Brian's massive bulk squeezes in next to me, and I feel the truck accelerate. The backside wobbles back and forth in the sand as it tries to find purchase in the ground. But then we find the road, and I'm pressed back into the seat as Brian steps hard on the gas. I scramble up right into a seated position, pressing back as far as I can against the door, away from Brian. He doesn't seem to be paying attention to me right now, with his eyes fixated on the road. My heart hammers in my chest. I can't even start to comprehend what's just happened to me. Is this real? Am I dreaming? How did I end up fucking up this badly again? Brian takes a hard turn, and I almost tumble into him. In a panic, I kick my feet against the side, keeping myself upright and against the door. A big bear grunts and glances at me before fixing his eyes back on the road. I quickly draw my feet back, pressing my knees against my chest as I try to hold on to the chair to keep from falling over. I realize then that Brian must have been waiting for me, waiting outside Cudsy's trailer for a perfect moment to grab me. I've given it to him by idiotically skipping outside to take a piss, the result of which I can smell wafting up from my pants. I don't care, though. Everything is numb right now, and my mind is racing, trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this. Just open the door and leave. My paw automatically reaches to pull the car handle. It's locked. My paw feels along the door, looking for the lock. My fingers press over a small hole, where I assume it should be, but it's smooth. It's like the little nub to pop up the lock is missing, or has been cut short. I swallow hard. I keep searching my fingers. And my fingers come across the window crank handle. Yes. I tentatively start to roll it down, but it's clear that I haven't thought ahead as Brian immediately notices the drafty air. He lunges at me, one hand still on the wheel. I scream and dodge out of the way, falling into the footwell as I try to escape his massive paws. He doesn't grab me, instead of reaching for the handle and rolls the window back up. The truck swerves back and forth as he does, and for a moment, I'm sure he's about to roll the whole thing with how fast we're going. He finally sits up right again.
Do that again, and I'll knock you out!
And does. Still, he doesn't look at me. It's only then that I notice the stark difference in demeanor has now compared to the first time I've seen him. There's no lust or animalistic drive to fuck everything around him. Instead, there's a sort of desperation about him. I see his eyes dart around in the glow of the headlights, and the fur all over his face matted down from sweat. I sit there in the footwell, staring up at him, gripping onto the seat as my head knocks back against the glove compartment. After a few minutes of erratic driving and swerving, I gather my wits about enough to speak. What are you doing? Brian's eyes flick down to me, then back up to the road before he shakes his head. He does it slowly, like he can't believe something. But he doesn't say anything, at least not for a while. Then, after what could have been anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, he speaks up.
Can you tell me the truth, boy?
I sit there quietly, contemplating making a jump for his door, to open it and tumble out into the desert. If I wasn't injured badly enough, or if I even survived for that matter, maybe I could make a run for it. What truth?
What's going on in this town?
Oh my god. I squeeze my eyes shut and let my forehead thump against the seat. But only for a moment, since I want to be able to keep an eye on Brian. I already told Duke. I have no fucking clue. You were there. Brian grunts as he continues to stare out the windshield, clearly thinking about something. I can't help you, or anyone here. Brian, I'm just trying to find my way out. That gives me an idea. Wait. I think I might have a way to get out of here. If you let me go, I'll tell you. As soon as that comes out of my mouth, I wonder if I've made a mistake. Brian doesn't need to let me go to tell to get me to tell him what he wants. I'm alone here with him, and he can do whatever he wants to me. And I'll probably tell him whatever he wanted to hear. But he surprises me with what he says. Escaping isn't gonna fix any of this. We're all still gonna see the same shit. I wait, but he stays quiet. It takes me another minute to work up the courage to ask. See what? You know exactly what. He screeches at me with his high-pitched voice, and the truck swerves precariously. I can imagine the tires sliding off the road for a moment before Ryan corrects it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, he says more gently, taking deep breaths to calm himself. But then he looks down at me. Don't you? I swallow hard, wanting to find the right answer, but unsure of what that might be. Like what Duke saw on the ceiling of the diner. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's something that Brian saw with me. He lets out a cold guffle. That's exactly I'm talking about, Otter. That and every fucking thing else. Brian said calmly. Yeah, it's fine. Look, it's what look, the description's after the line of dialogue. I have to just kind of wing it. The truck takes another hard turn, and I brace myself in the little well. Actually, here we're at 2 hours, and there's a lot left still. So I think we'll stop there for the night, and we'll pick this up again. Also, happy Halloween, everyone. It's now Halloween in my time zone, so you know, happy Halloween. I'm sure it's that way for a lot of people. If I stream later today, right, in my time zone, we'll be able to finish Leo's route before the end of Halloween. Isn't that kind of neat? I think there's about an hour and a half left, like an hour and a half to 2 hours left, because Leo's route is long. His Saturday and Sunday are so long, like, God, why is it like this? Like, I enjoy it, but it's long. Do be that way. Anyway, guys, I'll be wrapping up the stream. So I hope you all are gonna have a good Halloweenies, you know, and to have some fun, you know. It's a holiday at the end of the day. You should all enjoy yourself. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys around.